Wellness Show, episode number 430. "15 seconds, Tyson."
Welcome to the Wellness Show. This is your one and only chance in the week to have an opportunity to phone in and help you clear up your life and take back your personal power, stand in your truth, and learn how to deliver your awesome gifts to the world. So I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, with my lovely co-host, Laura Kuhl. And we're here with you for the next hour. And it's a talk show that you can phone in live. The number is toll-free in North America, right above me, 1-866-369-7464. You want to phone by internationally, it's the WhatsApp. It's 1 for Canada, 250-803-2480. So we're standing by here. This is your show, and we're available for the next hour. So please join us. So welcome to the show. And Laura, you have a topic that we want to talk about, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about chemtrails today and all the wonderful things that we can do to, like, foray them, get them out of our way. And we're going to talk about mediumship and how talking to your past loved ones and how healing that is.
Wow. And then, of course, we have our good friend Charlie Riverman here to share his poem. And so we have a wonderful show for you, but don't forget, this is your show, and we really want you to join us. And you can also get a backstage pass if you would like, which is what Charlie has, which is joining us on Zoom. If you want to join us on Zoom, you're first in line to ask your questions. It's really simple. In the Zoom link to join, it's just type my name, Tyhson, and you're with us. Or you can just use my cell phone, which is 250-803-2480, which is exactly the same as the WhatsApp phone number. So pretty easy to join us. Just Tyhson, and you're in, and you'll be first in line. Okay, so why would you like to talk about that topic? What brought that to mind?
Are we talking about which one, the chemtrails or?
Yeah, the chemtrails.
So I got a picture from a friend here in Wisconsin who used to live out in California, and there were so many chemtrails back again. Now, when the last president was in power, you might say, chemtrails, at least in the United States, went away. And now they're back with vigor. And apparently they're coming down now 3 times stronger than what they were before. So I think it's something that we need to talk about, because some people think that it's like water vapors from airplanes.
From planes?
Those dissipate quite quickly. And I've been watching those since I was a little girl. They dissipate very quickly. These don't dissipate.
No, they don't.
Allergies have been super high.
Yeah, all sorts of toxic things are in those chemtrails, high levels of mercury, cadmium, all sorts of stuff that really affect our immune systems, which is, of course, all part of what's going on with COVID-19 and respiratory diseases and the flu epidemics that, and the warning that the next flu virus will be 90% more deadly than the one that we have now. So this is all part of the agenda of whoever they are that wants to impose control. Most people think this is a conspiracy theory, and like Laura says, it's only just vapor coming from the planes. But in actual fact, You know it's a chemtrail when you can see the beginning of the line and the end of the line across the sky. When a jet goes over and you can see the jet trail, you will see it only for about 5 or 6 or maybe 8 to 10 lengths of the plane, and then it dissipates. You do not see that with a chemtrail. You'll see it as a cloud, a stream right across the width of the plane, right across the sky, and it dissipates out laterally. And on a really bad day, it just like it's crossed one way, going one way, east, west, and north, south, or whatever. So it's like a checkerboard in the sky.
Yeah.
So I did a little research on the web, and I guess I could just share my, well, I'll just read it. And you can do this yourself. Just go to Google and type it in, and you will find that the first thing that comes up is NASA scientists amidst chemtrails, stillness in the store. According to declassified CIA documents, the government conducted tests with poisonous gases sprayed onto the US population from jets and tall buildings back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. And then it continues on with the article. Well, what they forgot to say is it continues in the 90s and into the present time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and the next one, when you Google chemtrails, is the United Nations exposes chemtrails, 100% proof that we are being bombarded or sprayed. The US population is being sprayed with chemtrails. And by the way, we have them here in Canada as well. The third one, and this is videos of the chemtrails declassified. You can actually see inside the setup of the plane of how all the canisters are set up to spray. And so there's 3 videos on that. So just for all those that think we're conspiracy nuts, we are nuts, but we're not, you know, we do, the conspiracies that we're talking about are actually real. So if you Google that. So what can one do about it? Well, I think that one of the most important things is what we've been talking about in the deep clearing protocol, which is how to raise your bioenergy field. Now, you were going to say yes, but how does that help? Well, there's no doubt that we'd rather not have chemtrails. There's no doubt that we would like not to have electronic interference. There's no doubt that we would like to not have smart meters or 5G, because they're bombarding us, 360 degrees with every type of man-made disruptor into our bioenergy field. That being said, the more we raise our consciousness, the less effect it has. So I put this question out: what would it be like if all that ceased? I mean, if we have to generate so much energy to raise our bioenergy healing field to deal with all this, can you imagine what it would be like if all that was taken away? Just how advanced our consciousness would be. So I think about that.
Yeah.
We have a little drink here. And the interesting thing, just gonna clear my throat here. The interesting thing is that the elementals are helping us with this whole process. And the air elemental is called the Sylph. And the Sylphs are actually interdimensional beings. So each element, fire, earth, air, water, has an elemental. I mean, they'd say that, oh, that's, that's illusionary, and it's, from the mysteries and all the rest of it. They actually exist. And the Sylphs, you can call in the Sylphs. So the Sylphs work with humans. So you call in the Sylphs to come, and you can watch them. They're like wispy, they're like angel wings in the sky. And some of them actually look like double angel wings, and they literally come and digest or transform, whatever word you want, of the chemtrails. You were going to say something there, Laura.
Well, you see in big storms or volcanic eruptions, you'll see the faces of these things in those clouds of dust or smoke, or in water too. They'll come up in waves. You'll see a face come through. Those, I believe, are the faces of the elementals coming through.
Yeah, and you can see, actually, I think that's a really interesting point, because you can see the demonic ones as well, more so in the volcanoes and whatnot, because they're perpetrated or intensified by mind control. So that elemental force that's being used will show its demonic demeanor. The other thing is at the bottom of my garden, I have a chembuster. And a chembuster is using organite in tubes, in copper tubes, which you can direct at the chemtrails and they dissipate. I don't do that. Some people set them up like a machine gun and they direct them and all. I don't do that. Mine are just straight up into 360 degrees above where I live, and they're pumping out that clearing energy 24/7. I'm a light. I operate a light center here, a lighthouse, and if you're going to mess with this lighthouse, then there's an area that's up there that's protected, and you're going to do whatever you do, you're going to have to deal with that energy that's coming off of this property. So my trail busters are not directed at any particular being or situation. They're just clearing the atmosphere. If you want to know more about chemtrail busters, I just Googled it. It's really easy to find there. If you really want to have one in your backyard, then my friend Glenn actually builds them and will build you one. They start off with a 5-pound pail of organite, and they have crystals in it. The crystals are activated and they're in each one of the tubes. I think there's 8 tubes in mine coming out of the 5-gallon. And each one of those has a crystal. They come up and there's a ring that holds them together, and they just shoot the energy from the crystals into the sky. So I'm just going to clear my throat again. I got a frog. I've got a sylph in my throat or something. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say about chemtrails. You can bring in the sylphs to work with you, and it's a great way to have a relationship with the air elemental, and they love to do this work. And yes, they are really giving up their lives because they can be fried by this energy energetically. So in actual fact, according to Glenn, who works with the Sylph, that's the elemental he works with, they brought in Sylphs from other planetary dimensionals, the bigger boys and girls, to work on clearing up the chemtrails. So so Google it and just know that you can clean up your own backyard intentionally. So it's really important to do that work. And don't forget, the deep clearing protocol is really important to raise your energy so you're not overwhelmed by these energies. Does that do it? You got any questions about that, Laura? Does that help? Make some sense?
Help, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with chemtrails for a long time. I use Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
You use what did you call them again? The Sylphs?
The Sylphs, yes.
Sylphs. And that's a type of angel, you're saying?
Well, each elemental has a particular elemental being. And the elemental being for the air is called the Sylph. And if you're interested in all this, then you can join our boots on the ground geomancy course and learn about how to work with elementals and fairies and all the different kingdoms. So for me, there's a triune relationship. There's 3 circles that all interrelate. There's humans in one, there's angels in another, and there is elementals in another. They all create a trifold or a shamrock, and where they overlap is a Vesica Pisces, and where the 3 come together is where we want to work together. So there's before the disassociation of the fairy kingdom and the human kingdom, the she, which is the fairy kingdom, and the humans, they're on the same evolutionary track. They go through the same evolution. They're just on another dimension and we can't see them, but they have parallel lives to ours. And the important thing is they want to work with humans, and there was for many, many centuries and many civilization, not only we live together, and we actually, there's people that have fairy blood, and there's fairies that have human blood. So there's been cohabitation, intermarriage between the kingdoms. So when I talk about this triune relationship between the fairy kingdom or the elementals, the angels, and the humans. That's the eco-spiritual planetary transformation will come from this triune relationship, because angels can do things that humans can't do, which is what we do in the Court of Atonement, working with the angelic kingdom, if you know Amy Jo's work, and vice versa. So we can do what angels can't do. So if you do John Living's work, John Living would say, well, the angels really need to use a human brain every once in a while, so I let them use my brain, because they need to be able to do things on the physical plane, and they don't have a human brain to work through. So he allows them to channel through and communicate to the physical world through his brain. So, and then the elementals, the same thing. So when we work together in this co-creative relationship, which is really what Charlie and I do too, as part of the Sacred Evolutionary Dowsing Consortium, we learn how to create this energetic field, this crucible of transformation when the three kingdoms work together in harmony. So there you are. That's all boots on the ground geomancy course, where you come and learn all about these things. It's really, really exciting. It's my favorite course on the planet, is to teach you wizardry, to teach you alchemy in a very straightforward way, to work with these elementals and the fairy kingdoms and the angelic kingdom. So the Divine Mother, the Seraphim, angels, all of those things I work with are all ways of running those energies and allowing those energies to increase our awareness and connection to the divine. There you are. Great topic. Well, let's bring Charlie on, because he's got a poem for us today, and then we'll come back to your topic, and you wanted to talk about how to bridge between the two worlds, between those that are on the other side in this world. Did I get that right?
Mediumship?
Yeah. Some people call it mediumship. All right.
Talk about
All right.
that.
Let's hear from Charlie.
Good morning, grand rising, and blessings from the highest level of our beingness to all of you who are listening, and especially this beautiful group of divine beings here in this Zoom room. So yeah, I love what you said about the chemtrails, which is important, because I see them picking up again in intensity, again where I am on the East Coast of the US. So yeah, that's definitely an issue that we all need to pay attention to. And thank you for the beautiful course with the Sylphs and the elementals. As Tyhson said, we work with those all the time, so they're not new to many of us, but his wisdom far exceeds mine in that department. So the poem comes from yesterday morning. It's a meditation I do with a woman named Malini Rahandran, and she's stopping those on Thursday morning, so I will bring other poetry in. But it's really not so much a poem, although it's written in poetic form. It's a message that when we go into deep meditation and leave our third dimensional space, we have this ability to connect with higher dimensions of ourselves and all of those beings in those. And so the messages come through. And this one was about, she was talking about coronavirus as a reset for humanity, and that it's over, it's done, and it's enough. And those were her words that set me to open the gates for this information to come through. So just to ask you to just take a breath, just relax, and just open your waves of reception and listen to this message that in these moments, I'm basically the scribe. Reset is enough. Release, clean, clear, reset. Into the challenge of change, we dive and become light and water. Merging into oneness, we are welcomed home. The vibrational frequency is overwhelming at first until we let go of all of our grasping and desires. We become one light, all that is. Everything is now awaiting your intimate connection. Let us now focus on the healing of humanity from the collective distortion that has been collectively created over centuries, returning all of the forms of its manifestation to source for their dispersion and recalibration, leaving nothing unattended, for the trauma has entered the molecular level, and its purpose no longer is needed for the reset of our third dimensional experience. It is done. Say it is so from your hearts. It is done. Say it is so from your hearts. Bless you and thank you. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.
Mhm. Thank you. Tyhson, you're on mute.
Yeah, I really resonate with that. Thank you, Charlie. I think the bifurcation of humanity is underway, and those that understand this reset, that we are never returning to where we were or how we were or why we were, that is in complete disarray and dissolution. So now we have the future in front of us and we have choices. And the choices are being made consciously or subconsciously, rationally or irrationally, about whether we want to go down the road of fear and doubt and lining up in an orderly fashion for vaccinations and for the agenda that's unfolding, or we take the road of standing in our truth and knowing that a new world is emerging that will look nothing like the old world, and it has nothing to do with fear or doubt or shame or guilt. It has to do with our connection to what we were talking about this morning, that triune relationship with all of life, all of creation, that's one with our soul, with our inner beings, and that will bring the new light onto the planet. And that is unfolding as we speak. And it really has nothing to do with us other than us getting out of the way. Like, in other words, all the energy of divine providence is unfolding. We have the choice to go to push off, and as they say, the Mayans say, push off from the riverbank and flow with the river. This is not the time to struggle. So if you're struggling with COVID and government and all this agenda, then you're certainly not in the divine flow. You are part of another agenda. And I bless all of those, because some people don't understand that, and that's okay. That, you know, nobody gets lost in this whole process. No soul doesn't arrive home. Some days take longer than others. So nothing is lost in this whole process. So even grieving for those that don't understand isn't necessary, because ultimately they will understand. So what is important, I think, for each of us is, what choice do we want to make today? Do we want to choose fear, or do we want to stay in the knowing that we are being guided and that truth will be revealed? So anyway, that's my take on the whole thing. And thank you, Charlie, for bringing that up. The reset, in my mind, is over and done, right? There's no going back to what was. There's only the exciting opportunity of what the future will bring. So there we are. So mediumship. You were saying that, Laura, that lots of people have been coming to you around mediumship and wanting to know about what's happening on the other side or contacting those that have passed. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dealing with a lot of suicides and drug overdoses as well right now. The reset button may have been reset, but there's still a lot of fear in the consciousness, and a lot of people are checking out.
Yep.
And people are just checking out just because I believe that as the consciousness rises up, their body isn't able to sustain it and needs to leave this plane. Not on every person, but some.
Yeah, I think there's the other part too. Sorry to interrupt, but there's those that on really advanced souls that have chosen the opportunity to be on the other side to assist as well. So I think there's those that can't handle the energy and are out of here, don't want to deal with it, and there's those that know that they can do a better job or help with this process on the other side. So again, we have this interdimensional mutual assistance program that's going on as we go through this reset. Sorry, I sort of interrupted you, so keep going.
That's okay. That's what this is about, is like the back and forth. So I've been dealing with a lot of souls that haven't crossed over, and crossing them over into the light and explaining to the family how important it is to know what it is that you believe in, and to understand something greater outside of yourself is very important right now. So, and I think getting a mediumship reading is super healing too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing how it's happening with my Sarah, for me is reassuring that everything is going according to whatever it's going to go to. So yeah, I find it reassuring to know that she's going to, she's assisting many people in many different ways on her new journey as she returns to light. How long she will be available for all of us, I don't know. I have no idea, but it's sort of like messages in the bottle, that arrive on the shore. They give you sort of clues about what's going on in another dimension or in another reality. I think that's important. We don't have a memory of where we came from, and we lose that connection to the fact that we're one with all that is on this journey in this dimension. So to have brief contact with those that are back in oneness or are experiencing more oneness than we are, I think is really helpful and enlightening for us that are in the midst of duality.
And I think that getting an understanding that there is a very fine line between this dimension and the one that they've gone to, and helping families, at least for my work, helping families understand that their loved one is right there and that they can talk to them, that they're getting signs, and that there's important work to be done on this side of things too. That yes, they move on and they help us and they have things to do over here, but we have things to do over here as well. And they remind us to do those things and what's important: family, relationships, having children, being happy, enjoying life, traveling, doing those things comes through a lot as well, at least in my readings.
Yeah, I think the important thing is that your time with your loved ones on this dimension is precious. So respect that preciousness and take advantage of it in the sense of telling people that you do love them and taking the extra time to reach out to family, even if the other family member doesn't understand, and whatever, like don't hold back.
Right.
If I could do a rerun or push replay, there's lots of things I'd like to do with my beloved Sarah, do differently. So if I feel that way, then obviously when the chance was available to me, when she was here, I could have played it differently. And I don't mean that with any judgment or condemnation of myself, just understanding that there was other ways that we could have communicated with each other. And so don't lose that opportunity. Take advantage of that while your loved one is still here, right? That's what I would encourage people to do.
Absolutely. I know my sister lost her dog this last week, and it was very, very quick and very unexpected. And other times, we've always had animals that passed because we know that it was their end time. And a lot of the time, there was an assistance that happened there, right? Euthanasia. But this was the first animal, at least in my lifetime, that's been a part of my family, that it was lost in a very quick and tragic way. And the loss is much different, I think, than I feel anyway. And so to know and to understand how fragile life is, and like you said, they're here one minute and gone the next, and to always say, I love you. Because how many people have come to you and said, the last thing that I said to my loved one was we were arguing. And then there's so much guilt and anger. Even if you do have misunderstandings within your family or with your friends, you can always end on, no matter what, I still love you. And like, always kind of keep that in mind. I think it's at least from this last week, it's a good reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you need some help, Laura and I can help you in that area. There is the Court of Atonement, which Amy Jo has brought through her communication at the other side. There's ways to mend fences with our loved ones that we sometimes in our family, to be able to try and do that one-to-one is really too difficult. We're not being heard or understood, or they're just incapability of being able to make that soul connection, that heart connection. So by taking it to the Court of Atonement and asking the other dimensions to work with you at the soul level, that gets resolved, and then miracles happen on the physical level. So what we're saying to you is, if you'd like to learn to do that, or if there's a problem with your unresolved conflict in your family, your daughter or your loved one isn't speaking to you and hasn't, then we encourage you to come and have a session with the Court of Atonement, or go and have a session with Amy Jo Ellis. It does work. It's worked in my life. It's created miracles. My brother, who was alienated from my mother for some reason, I don't understand. My mom passed, never got it resolved. And I put it in the Court of Atonement. I got a phone call out of the blue from my brother and said, would you come to my daughter's wedding? And I said, absolutely, I would. And when it did come, there was tears and gratitude, and there was just that, as if nothing had ever happened, right? And we never talked about it, and we don't ever need to talk about it. It's just, we are now connected again. So miracles can happen in families. So this is what we're saying. Your time together with your loved ones is precious, and take it. If you're alienated, please work on it, because otherwise you'll regret it, because tomorrow they may not be here. Next second, they may not be here.
Well, my mom always is asking me about my father, because she has dreams about him, but he's always way in the back. Like she can see him, but there's no conversation or anything. And so I asked Dad about that, and he said that that would be too hard on her, for him to like come up and like actually converse with her, and that she would just miss him all the more, that the aching would get more. And she agreed, and I was like, well, that's like a healing message, right? Mm-hmm. Just understand that, well, this is why I'm doing this, and I still love you, but there's still a lot of pain and hurt there as well. And then Kim Kraft said, I had a visitation from my mom when she passed, which was very comforting. She's a listener. She's listening.
Thank you for that. I think it's really important to let other people know that you've had these experiences. For me, I really was grieving, and I still am in many ways, not in the same. It's not as close to the surface, but it is very deep. And I think, I'm sort of shifting gears. Well, let me start with what I was going to say. And so I wanted to know that there was communication. So on the second or third night with my Sarah, her watch when I woke up was in the middle of the bed where she sleeps. So, you know, in our world of physicality, that shouldn't happen. That's what people would call a miracle. So, you know, if you need signs, you'll be given signs. If you don't need signs, that's great. You'll be given, you know, you don't need a physical miracle type sign. You know, it could be anything from a breeze that you know that's touching your cheek to, you know, a feather dropping from the sky. You will know when your loved one is present and wanting to communicate. You'll feel a smile on your face. So there's many, many ways in which this visitation can happen. So just be aware of that and give yourself time. I mean, giving myself time has not been that easy. And there's a wonderful book by Kubler-Ross. Is it Kubler-Ross? I think that's what it's called. The 5 Stages of Death and Dying. It's a really important read. Welcome to the Wellness Show. And who are we talking to?
Is this Mr. Banighen?
This is Mr. Banighen, yes.
It's Sandra calling from CIBC with Dendy.
All right. Well, you happen to be on a talk show, so I'm sure you don't want to be on a. No, that's okay. Don't apologize. I'll get back to you. So thank you for phoning from CIBC.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Well, there you are. See, there's a voice from Sarah's world about her investments. So there you are. Proof positive.
There she is. She's
Here
talking.
she is doing the work in the background there.
She's like, look at all this money coming in now, Tyson.
That's right. Yes, I was on my Facebook. It says receiving $100,000 unexpectedly. I thought, oh, okay, I actually downloaded that and put it onto my vision board. I can accept that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't forget, this is your show. You can phone in. I know we've been away for a while and that you're not used to the show being not here on a regular basis, but now that you've found us, you can phone in toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. And maybe Laura will actually help you do some little mediumship across the boundary, right?
Yeah. Well, you medium, don't you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm medium rare or what I am, or well done. So, yeah, I think I can do it. I can certainly do it when you do it, because we like are 2 peas with a pod. So when you get something, I get something. So it's almost like my experience in doing the readings intensifies when you and I do it together. At least that's what I find. So if you want the power of both of us, now's the time to do it, because this is the only time we actually work together to do this type of work, whether it's a healing or a clearing or it's mediumship or whatever that you need, right, to help you get out of your own way. We're here for you, and we love to do it. And this is where we feel that we are contributing to the evolution of humanity and the planet. So give us an opportunity to do what we're called to do.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy doing my readings. I do them all week, and Fridays are my day off, but I actually am busier on Friday, I think, than I am on any other day. I have this show, and I have your master class, and I have another class that I'm joining. So it is a busy Friday for me these days. But hold on, do you guys see anything about a business deal going on and also relationship progression that I am in? Oh, Kim, you're in a relationship. Oh, that's exciting. Let me check into that. I'm getting like the number 8 with the relationship. I'm just so excited that you're in a relationship, Kim. And it feels like this, like the number 8 is an infinity sign, and that this is a connection that you've been waiting for a long time. And it feels very easy, and don't do anything to sabotage it. because sometimes, you know, when things come in and they feel really good, that we can do things to make it not happen because we get scared. So don't be scared of this. The business deal going on. Do you get anything on the business deal, Ty?
Well, I just want to say, and this is really, really strange, and there's no proof positive of this in the physical third dimension whatsoever in my world. Well, that's not true. The inkling of it is actually beginning to manifest in the third world. So let me be really truthful about that. But this is the year of prosperity and abundance. And I know, and I feel it's not just for me. I feel it's actually planetary wise. I have no idea how this is going to manifest into reality. But I think that, you know, a lot is coming down the pike. And so in the area of prosperity and abundance, open your heart, be prepared to receive, and know that it can come from all sorts of ways that you have never envisioned or imagined, which could be everything from barter to people just gifting you things to anyway, was something about coming into the divine flow in a new way. This is part of what Charlie's reset is all about, that our birthright, the mere fact we incarnated on planet Earth, our birthright is unlimited abundance. And when we understand that is our birthright, and we stop trying to make it happen and trying to push the envelope about prosperity, abundance, money, and all those things, you know, that you have to work hard on, all those false beliefs, when we can let go of all that and receive, almost dance in the light, so to speak, then the abundance can then flow into our lives. So get out of fear, take back your power, stand in your truth, and play with the energy. Love the energy of the money, and know that money is a powerful energy that's been misaligned, mistreated. It has had a bad relationship with humans and has been used as a weapon of control and manipulation. And when you take that charge off money and treat money as the wealth goddess that she is, right?
Yeah.
Then she can play with you. She can gift you. She will honor you, right?
Yeah. So this is what I'm getting. This is like, there's these dots and then they go into almost like these X's. It's a new way of doing whatever it is that you're doing. It's doing something differently.
And it's almost like if you could take all the doing and put it into being one with the money, or being one with your loved one, or being one with the planet, or being one with your group, then the flow can happen. It's not so much doing. Doing this really ego-oriented that we have to, it's busyness. And I've sort of been learning in the last 2 days the difference between doing and busyness and being. And so when I think about, you know, if my life is like my art, because I am an artist, and my art I put on the burner. Oh, I don't have time to do my art, and I'm my art, and I'm making the realization my life, my passion is my art. It's not over there and something I'm going to do. It's right here. And so if I was doing my art in the way that I do, the doing is getting all the materials ready to do my art. Like my, you know, if I was going to paint, it would be all my paint and my brushes and my, you know, and the cleaning cloth and the table, and that's my doing, is getting it all together. The doing is necessary, but the act of creation has nothing to do with doing. In fact, the doing is in the way. I have to connect with the source consciousness, with the divine flow, and then the creativity happens, right? That's where the divine flow comes through me, and that's where the art is created. So there's doing in your life which prepares the vessel or the crucible for the magic to happen, but don't take the doing into the crucible or try to do your art with doing. It doesn't work that way. So this is the new aha in my life, is that what is the role of doing and what is the role of being, right? Being with the divine, playing with the divine, creating with the divine, making music with the divine, making love with the divine, dancing with the divine, creating with the divine is completely different than, and even drumming with the divine. You know, white man can't drum if he's thinking about what he has to do with his hands. It's impossible. I've been there, I've done that. It's embarrassing. It really doesn't work. It just makes a big cacophony of ridiculousness, and you're embarrassed. White man cannot drum with his head, right? You gotta let go. You gotta let go and let the rhythm flow through your body, right? So that's the difference between doing and being. So hopefully that's helpful for
That
people.
is so true. Sorry, that's so true when you're drumming. And when you really get into it, even if when I'm drawing, it's the same thing, or I'm sure people get it when they're singing. I think when I'm doing my readings, my dogs go to sleep, the whole house gets calm and clear. And then as soon as I go to like take payment, or we just start, I disconnect, the dogs wake up and the whole house is like astir again. And I think it's that same principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
So
be-
learn learn the function of doing, learn the function of being. Spend more time being than doing, but doing is necessary to create the act of being. So that's,
Does it come from like here, and then
yeah,
when
in the
you
heart.
start
Yeah.
thinking,
Doing is creating from here, getting ready, and yeah, and
I take
being,
my
being
square
is
box,
from your heart.
I take my square box out, and that goes right to my head. Like going from, I said to one of my clients yesterday, I had to do math, and I'm like, oh my God. And it was the simplest math. It was like 1 + 1, right? It was so easy, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, whew, going from that world to this world, the art to the linear, it's not
Here's
easy.
Kimberly.
Oh,
Hi, Kimberly. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Tyson.
Good morning, Kimberly.
How are you?
I'm doing, and how are you being?
I'm moving along best as I can.
So is there any way we can help you?
Yeah, I was just I have two inquiries. I was wondering if I have any messages from my family on the other side.
All right.
And I'm facing a stressful issue out of San Francisco situation with a art grant. Just wondering if I could get any insight on that situation.
so Kimberly, when I do mediumship, I would need your family's names and how they're related to you. That's a much more in-depth process.
Oh, okay.
But you were talking about getting a grant for an art.
Yeah, there's a situation with an art grant that kind of went awry, and it's been very stressful for me recently.
So are you doing the art?
Yes, I'm supposed to be creating a video.
Is there a prominent man involved in this?
There is
With
woman
the grant.
that put this whole thing together. Her name is Barbara Mumby.
But
Oh.
Barbara Lumby is a woman putting this together. I don't know if you've heard that.
Is she kind of have male energy, very strong, dominating?
Yes, she does.
Okay, because I only read energy. I don't read vaginas and penises. That's what I tell people. So,
Oh, okay.
so there's something went on between you two, some kind of communication mishap, and her
Yes.
like she loved you, and now she's just not really into you. And but I think that it's okay, because if you were to let this go, I see I see right away 2 doors opening, other doors that are better for you.
Uh-huh.
So don't
That's
hold on
exactly
to this. I think you said it already today, Ty. Let go, let go, let go. Like
Yeah.
flow.
Actually, Kimberly, I get exactly the same thing, and is that let this one go. It's a precursor to something much bigger and profound, and but this is preparing you for that in whatever way, and it has to do, I think, with non-attachment, right? That get your emotions out of it. You are awesome in your creativity, and know that you will be recognized for who you are. And if you know that, the next step will just come to you, and it'll be much bigger and better than the one that that you're in now. As to your family and to communication, I think I get a sense of just I want to use the word pride. I don't know if that's the right word, but pride that you are actually doing what you're called to do in your art. That your trueness is coming through. That's a way that you can communicate your inner spirit to the world. And so there's a sense of, she's on the path, so to speak. That's what I get.
So this is what I got. Love your art. Flow with your
heart.
Flow with your heart. Yep.
Love your art and flow with your heart. Wow, I
so
like
what
it.
happens is the money started getting in the way, almost pulled her out of her heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop fearing the money and focus on the art. The art will bring you the money. Just focus on the art. Focus on the creativity, and know that all else will be granted unto you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for phoning in. I mean, this message is for everybody that's listening to the show. So it's not just for you, but thanks for bringing this out. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. I'm excited.
So
we want to know what's happened with your art. So you got to come back and tell us.
Okay.
All right. Bye for now.
Will do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So there you are. That's how it works. Toll free in North America. The lines are open, 1-866-369-7464. Let us kick your butt in a very loving way and see if we can get you into the divine flow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Havana Lawson wants to know if there's any messages from the other side. That again, let me just tap and see, maybe there is. Hold on, Havana Lawson. See, this is where I wish I had them here. Why I like doing this in person and not, or like you call in would be much better so I can get the response.
Well, what I'm getting is it's the same theme. It has to do with your creative aspect. It has to do with your divine flow of manifesting into the world who you be. Focus on who you be and the gifts you bring to the world, and the rest of it will flow. So I think that's the message. I think the theme for
across the board for everyone.
Yeah, this is the message of today for everybody, and I think it's Charlie's message too. This is part of the reset, right? That where money was a trap and was something we had to work for and we had to struggle with and we had to sell our soul to, and we all those other things, right? That with the reset, money is our birthright. It's part of the divine flow from Divine Mother. It's our gift. It's that's the return on the flow of our pure essence of how we give our gifts to the world. And when we give our gifts to the world, unchecked, we have our hearts open, then the flow happens. It happens spontaneously. It is effortless. The money just returns. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do, in the sense, it's like spiritual marketing. What I'm asking people is, how did you find me? Well, how did they find me? Because they were guided to work with me. And if they're guided to work with you, then you're not selling them anything. They already showed up on your doorstep because they want to work with you, right? Because they already know that you're going to be able to help them. And that makes it so much easier. So all of the way that we used to show up and all the things that the gurus have taught us about business before the reset really don't work in this new way of being. So we're made this turnaround. As Charlie said, the reset, the button has been pushed, right? The reset has happened. It's a whole new program of manifestation running on planet Earth. The old program no longer works. Yeah, there may be vestiges of it that keep on going because it's got momentum. But if you're trying to manifest something new with the old way, it will be very difficult. So drop out of your head, come into your heart, and know that you will be guided and that the right people will show up in the right place and it will be effortless. If it's not effortless, then stop doing and start being, whether it's meditation or go do some art, go for a walk in nature, whatever it is to connect to spirit again, and then start again, right?
Right.
I'm talking to myself. I'm the Mr. Doer, right? I'm the Mr. Do, which creates poo everywhere and a big mess. I've done that all my life, right? Thinking that that's how I manifest when I know since a child, I never manifested that way. Ever. It was just gifted to me.
Why do you keep doing it?
I'm addicted. Some people are addicted to crack cocaine and, whatever. I'm addicted to the
Oh my good Lord. Okay, but you can do this. That's like a limiting belief. So let's talk to.
Hey, but step one is, you gotta stand up and, and say, my name is Tyhson Banighen and I'm addicted to doing, right? That's the first step.
So let me just say to Ivana, though, I did get a young man that wore a lot of brown come through and would like to speak with you, but I'd have to be more on a one-on-one. So I needed to get that out because lots of brown, but young. I don't know what the brown is about, unless their name was Brown.
Well, we're nearly at the top of the show, but we've had one reading, and you can see that it's much more powerful that if you join us live. Yeah. If you want to join us live next Friday, remember, it's my cell phone. It's 250-803-2480 in order to come onto Zoom, or just my name, Tyhson, Tyhson, and you'll be in the Zoom room. And hopefully Charlie will be back with a poem and we will be able to do your reading right there with you because we'll be able to see you and it's much easier for us to channel when we can actually see you, right, Laura?
Yeah, or at least be able to converse. They can call in as well at 1-866-369-7464. But yeah, it's definitely much easier than doing this text back and forth that takes forever. And it's not conducive to how fast I get answers as well as you, right? Right.
So just off the top of your head, before we say goodbye, do you have a topic for next week? Is there something you'd really like to know about?
I really not thinking about that right now.
All right. Well, we're going to do more mediumship because obviously
that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I want to do is more psychic readings. And
we'll be doing more psychic readings, more clearings, and more lovingly kicking your butt. So come on back to the show on Friday, same place, same time, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, WELLNESSSTORE.CA and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.